Hello, my name is Nan, and today I will talk about sunscreen. I'm sure that most of you guys hate using sunscreen because of how tedious the process of just putting it on. But without using it, we will get sunburn, and it's not pleasurable to get sunburn. Therefore, sunscreen is important, and today I will talk about what are the damage that you get from not using sunscreen. What is sunscreen? What type are they? And then controversial and debate surrounding them. First, I will start with the damage. You could get skin cancer and photo aging if you do not use sunscreen. Described by researcher Ham, what happened when you go under the sun is that your skin is exposed to damage, and then the UV ray will come in your skin straight into your DNA and cause some errors, and those are called pyrimidine dimer. And if you do not resolve the pyrimidine dimer, it will result in skin cancer. But don't worry, because in your body, it's smart, it's developed, and it's organ is created to solve issue by itself. So the autoimmune system actually go out there and fix the pyrimidine dimer. Unfortunately, the process of the autoimmune system go out there to fix them is also affected, and it was shown in another study by researcher Urich. In your study, they record that the sun suppressed the autoimmune system. So now that you have the issue, which is the pyrimidine dimer that going on, and then the issue of you trying to resolve that being affected as well, these two combine and they equal their high rates of skin cancer in many population. Also, another damage that I want to mention is photoaging. Photoaging describes the process of we aging. We lose collagen. Our skin get older and age faster as we expose to the sun. In another study by Kwan, he recorded that we lose 50% of collagen as we expose to the sun, and the process that we trying to regenerate those kind of collagen is affected up to 90% after 6 hours of the sun exposure. As you can see, the damage is real and it's really impact on the collagen. We need collagen. It's because we need the collagen in our skin to have the elasticity, to have the firm. Those are the build blocks and the nitrogen and the nutrients, and as well as many things like it is the fuel thing. It is the building block of our skin, and we need it, and it's really greatly impact as we expose to the sun. Therefore, people will look for sunscreen. That brings me to the second point. These are there are many kinds of sunscreen, and these are what people use for preferences to pick sunscreen on. There are three types of sunscreen: mineral sunscreen, chemical sunscreen, and hybrid sunscreen. Mineral sunscreen describe the two filter, which are zinc and titanium dioxide. Those two filter, they stay on top of your skin, act as a shield, so when UV come in, it bounces away the UV. But the good thing is like it is organic, and it's not organic. It does not get absorbed into your skin, so it's kind of healthy. It's kind of it appears to look healthy, but the downside is it's had white cast. It's terribly white cast. So when you put on your face, sometimes you might look like a clown because of how white it make your skin tone looks. The second type, which is chemical sunscreen, people actually invent these just because to combat the white cast effect of mineral sunscreen. The way chemical sunscreen works is that you absorb in when you put on the chemical sunscreen, your skin will absorb the chemical, and then it will act. So when the UV come, you will somewhat convert the UV into heat and distribute it away to the surface of your skin, and that's how the UV works. But because it's absorbed in, so it does not stay on top of your skin, so you do not have any effect of white cast. But the downside of it is it stings. Since you're absorbing it in, is sting. Therefore, some people tend to avoid it, including me, because I get sting when I use them. but that's just up to preference because some people's skin can tolerate it, some people cannot. And finally, hybrid is just like a mix of both. Since this, I also want to spend a little bit of time point out how people select sunscreen. The way people read sunscreen and select sunscreen is by reading the ingredients. They read the ingredients to look for if the sunscreen is mineral or is chemical, because based on the term as well as the characteristic that I mentioned earlier, some people do not fit for chemical sunscreen, but some do fit for mineral sunscreen, something like that. Another thing that they look is SPF. SPF is the measure of UVB coverage, and the bigger the SPF, the more effective of the sunscreen. So like SPF 30 is not as good as SPF 100, something like that. For the PA describe the coverage in UVA. So the more plus mean the more coverage in UVA. And yeah, that's basically it. That's how people select sunscreen. To the last point, there are some controversial against sunscreen, especially only chemical sunscreen. For chemical sunscreen, people tend to hate it just because of how it affects the environment overall. So it has been recorded that chemical sunscreen actually enter the bloodstream. So some people might find that a little bit terrifying, but it do not have any negative effect as well harm to our body. It just been recorded it entered the bloodstream. Some people hate that, so they can look for mineral sunscreen. Another thing that people look for mineral sunscreen is because of how chemical sunscreen is actually bad for the environment. Hawaii actually banned chemical sunscreen because how those actually affect the coral reef. There are organizations like HEL. They go out there and research as well as test sunscreen if those are actually affect the coral reef or not. And yeah, that's basically it. So in conclusion, sunscreen is still good, but there are actually some issues surrounding it. People might look for mineral sunscreen rather than chemical sunscreen, whatever works for you. But the thing is, sunscreen is really important as it prevent you from getting damaged and into your body and overall. Today we did talk. In this speech, I did talk over what are the damage, what are the type of sunscreen, as well as some controversial and debates surrounding sunscreen. I hope it helps. Thank you so much for listening, and as always, you don't want to end up looking like this. This is the effect of sun damage. Thank you.